Hi, this is Kylie Koo. Welcome to my studio and welcome to week 15 of creating a positivity deck. And the prompt for this week is energy. There's so much I'd like to say about energy that I could be here for the next hour, 2 hours. So I will keep it short, or as short as I can. So I was actually quite pleased when I realised earlier in the week that the word that I'd already picked for this week was energy, because energy is something that I've been thinking about a lot recently. And one of the reasons I've been thinking about it a lot is partly for what initially seems negative reasons, and that is I found myself saying I don't have a lot of energy. And I know that's partly because I had flu in between Christmas and New Year, and then I had a really bad cold a few weeks ago, and I think sometimes when you've had a virus like that, or one immediately following the other, it can leave your energy levels feeling low. And I know that's had a definite impact on some of the things that I've been able to do. But actually, the more I thought about it, the more I realised that sometimes there's energy there, but perhaps we just have to use it that bit more sparingly at times. So today when journaling, I started to think about the fact that energy is in everything. I thought about the elements, the fact that, here where things are starting to warm up, we're still having snow, etc. But every so often we have a kind of spring day and I can feel the heat in the sun, feel the energy in the sun. It's in the wind, it's in the sea that I visited a week or so ago. It's in fire, it's in the earth itself. And I then started to think about it in the sense of how I feel myself, the physical energy, the mental energy, the emotional energy. And then also the kind of actions that I've been taking. I've actually been doing some stuff. I've been clearing stuff. I've spoken several times about the fact that I want to clear space. And one of the biggest actions has actually been about letting things go. And I do feel that by letting some things go, I'm actually creating energy for myself. And I do feel a creative energy there. And I also feel that I'm slowly but surely finding well-being energy. So by following up on some of the things that I journaled about in previous weeks, especially around a kind of self-care type thing, I'm finding that even although at times I feel like I've not got a lot of energy, it is there. And by doing certain things, I'm releasing more of it. So I want to capture that in my card today. And I just pulled out another piece of old card. This was an index card that I think I'd used as a wipe-off card. And I decided that I would just stick this down as a base for my card for this week. And I kept looking at both sides because there was something about each of the sides that seemed to fit with my theme of energy. But eventually I decided on the side that I would stick down and the one that I wanted face up. Although I did think to myself, there was a possibility that it would be completely covered anyway. So I go to stick this down, and this might seem a strange thing to say, although I suspect some of you will have felt this, but even just playing with this piece of card, trying to stick the two together, I could sense an energy there. It was almost as if it was jumping up out of the card at me. In fact, I almost laughed to myself at this point because it was as if putting the two pieces together, I couldn't decide if they were acting like a magnet or if they were kind of pushing each other apart. But anyway, I got them together. But there was definitely something about this card today that was very positive and that was definitely giving off energy. So I trimmed it, and then as I looked at it, I could see something else there, which is often the case when I sit down. But a week or so ago I did this thing about a kind of spacescape, kind of the cosmos, the universe, whatever. And as I was looking at this, I could see this huge planet at the top and almost this landscape there. And as I've said in some previous weeks, I could almost walk away at a certain point, and I actually almost felt that I could walk away at that point because I liked that so much. However, I thought I need to do a bit more to this. So I pulled out a few more supplies, and I decided that this stencil that I got from Craftbox would, because it had lots of different kind of circles on it, that actually said to me energy. So I decided I would mix up some texture paste with some colours. They're newer paints that I just got recently. Perhaps the fact that the paints are new have a new energy about them as well. But I just decided that I was going to mix a couple of colours and actually use that stencil over the card. But I wanted somehow to retain that kind of planet thing, whatever, that I was seeing at the top. So I was saying that at times I felt that I don't have a lot of energy, but I have actually been getting stuff done. And one of the things that I've realised recently is that some of the tasks that I need to do require so much energy that actually, if I was to go at it at 100 miles an hour, then I would quickly just use up all the energy that I've got and the tasks wouldn't get done. So instead, what I've been doing is spending a little time most days just trying to tackle some of the things that I want to do. And then, if I felt the need, I've rested afterwards. And again, thinking back to some of my previous positivity cards, you know, where the card about rest and the card about self-care. So, you know, I'm very much trying to put that into practice. And my big focus at the moment is very much about clearing space, and I've even cleared out a lot of things from my studio. I've not thrown away any art supplies, but I have cleared a lot of things and I've sorted things and I've let things go. I've realised that over the years I've hoarded a lot of things for craft projects, and to be honest, I had so much that there was never any way that I would use it all. So I've kept stuff that I do intend to do projects with, but I've also let stuff go. And I've had to start to apply that in other areas as well, because I realise there are other things that I need to let go. One of the things I need to let go is the notion that I can do everything. You know, I want to do every project under the sun. I have lots of ideas for lots of things that I want to do. I see other people doing things and I want to do them. And holding on to all of that all of the time is not good. So, because it becomes overwhelming. So it's about focusing my energy on the things that I most need to do. And as I say, one of the things is about clearing space, and creatively I've actually not been doing as much. Now normally that would bother me, but again I've realised that I have to put my energy into some other things just for the time being, because once they're done, that will actually free up more time for me to do creative things. So there's a bit of a trade-off at the moment, but I think it's a trade-off that will be well worth it in the end. But I have to say that for me, it's only through having started this series of doing positivity cards, that I've actually reached that conclusion. I might have reached it otherwise, but this has certainly aided me in that. So here I am, I'm just about to put down my second colour. I'm trying not to squish the pink dots that I've just put down. You know, again, as I always say, if it happens, if they get a little bit squished, you know, it doesn't matter in the grand scheme of things. It really doesn't matter, but I'll certainly try not to do that. So by using this texture paste just mixed with the paint, I felt that the card was starting to get a bit of depth to it. And the more I kind of worked on it, the more I realised that there was something about what lay beneath. There was that energy sitting beneath the obvious stuff to the fore. And it just seemed to fit well with all that I'd been thinking about energy, that there's energy there's energy in everything, and sometimes it's just about how we use the energy, how we draw on the energy, and the things that we draw on the energy for. And again, it took me back to the things that I'd written in the journal about physical, mental and emotional energy. And all I'm doing here is using up that excess texture paste on the other bit of the index card that I had left. So one of the things about letting stuff go is it can be difficult, you know. We get, or at least I get, quite emotionally attached to some things, you know, especially things that have been passed down through the generations. But I've realised that becoming kind of emotionally attached to a whole pile of cardboard that I've kept for years is really, well, it just doesn't seem the right thing to be spending any sort of energy on at all. So whilst it's hard at times, I am letting things go that might otherwise in the past have been difficult, and I'm definitely feeling the benefits of that. So I'm now taking this third paint, and again I'm thinking that I don't want a lot of this, I just want a few little dots at the top, and I start to mix it with the texture paste. But I'm actually not, I don't like the way it's mixing, it's actually turning into a kind of grey. And it's not that I don't like grey, it's just I didn't want grey on this particular card. I mix a little bit more paint in, just to see if that will lift the colour. And it does a little bit, but it's still too much of a kind of grey. I know it's not going to mix in as I want it to. So all I do in the end is to take a cosmetic sponge and just use a little bit of the paint on its own and dab it through. So as I say, there's so much I would like to say about energy. I really haven't stopped thinking about it all week, and yeah, maybe at some point in future I'll say a bit more, but you will have your own thoughts on it. But you know, as always, I would invite you to think about what energy means for you. And you know, for different reasons, we all have what we feel like is a varying amount of energy at different points. As I say, I'd been a bit unwell recently, kind of 2 viruses that just left me feeling so tired, and there are things that I want to be doing that I've just not managed to do. You know, I've not been as active on social media, primarily because the time that I would normally be doing that, sitting down to do stuff on social media, I'm just too tired. And then if I'm doing some stuff earlier in the day, during the day, you know, this kind of clearing stuff away, that's kind of leaving me at times physically tired as well. So I'm trying to look after myself. And, you know, I would say to you too, if you're doing similar things, then look after yourself too. Think about the things that you need or want to spend your energy on, and conserve your energy at other times. You know, I was thinking too about the fact as I charged up my mobile devices. They need to be recharged every so often, and I need to be recharged every so often. But obviously, recharging for us as humans is a little bit more complex than simply plugging something in. So yes, I'd invite you to think about energy, what it means for you, how perhaps you use it, what you use it on, and how, in some ways, you might get more of it. So, here, I don't know why, but rather than writing energy, Einstein came to mind, and so rather than writing energy, I wrote E equals mc squared. And I don't know if that was partly driven by the fact of the way that the card looked, that again I could see something of the universe in there, of energy in different forms, of energy that was hidden underneath, that could be drawn on, or whatever. I don't know. The cards that I'm doing, I can see things in them, but I can't always explain it. That's the easiest way I can put it. I can't always explain what I'm doing, or at least what it means. But you know, I just go with it. So if you have any thoughts on energy, do let me know underneath. Let me know what thinking about energy brings up for you. Hopefully there are positive things in there. As I say, when I started off, I was fearful that because I'd been talking about low energy, that how could I make something positive from that? But I could see the positive, the fact that I was now using my energy on things that need to be done, and that's helping me get more energy. So, you know, that feels a bit rambly today, but I hope in some way that it makes sense for you. So just finishing off the card there, it didn't take me terribly long, but I am pleased with it. So, once more, I hope you've enjoyed this video, and as always I thank you all for your kind comments. I thank everyone in the Facebook group for all the work that they're doing on their cards and all the sharing that they're doing. So I hope you have a good week ahead, and I hope you will join me again for next week's Positivity Deck card. So as always, thanks for watching, and bye for now.